We talked about like 4 buckets, right? It's on-page optimization, off-page optimization, technical optimization, and then everything else. So next is off-page optimization. So this is the other big piece of the equation. Search engines basically factor in how the rest of the web views your site. So in the past, this was very simply described as link building, but it's becoming more comprehensive. I've shown this one a bunch before, but I love doing it. So when George Bush was running for re-election, a bunch of very activist bloggers started linking to his webpage with the phrase miserable failure. And they got him ranking #1 for miserable failure. And then in response to this, some very conservative bloggers started linking to Michael Moore's webpage with the phrase miserable failure and got them ranking #1 and 2. This concept is called Google bombing. And this was always very interesting to me because I remember hearing about it. They did a story about it on NPR, and I thought, wait, so neither of these web pages were attempting to rank for miserable failure, but other people were able to get them to do that. I don't understand that. How did they do that? And that's actually like that was my first break into SEO initially, was trying to understand how George Bush's page was ranking for miserable failure. This is actually not as easy to do now, but this is an easy way to understand the beginnings of link building. One more recently was they Google image bombed Mitt Romney. Apparently the image filter is not as strong as the web search filter, and they got Mitt Romney ranking for completely wrong. That's the primer into link building, right? So all things equal, the page with the most links wins, right? If all things were equal, there's 2 web pages that are exactly the same, and every single link is exactly the same, then this page is going to rank higher. But don't write that down, because there's a giant caveat there. I saw you writing that down. Don't write it down. Quality links is the name of the game, right? So if all things are equal, all web pages were equal, and all links were the same, then quantity would matter, but that's not the case. Quality links is the name of the game. So if I have 2 web pages and they're pretty similar, and this one has 7 links, but the links are from a random dude's Tumblr and your mom's MySpace page and a stupid blog comment, right? I only have 7 low-quality links. This page is going to be outranked by a page with a single link from the CNN.com homepage, right? So the quality and quantity of your links matters. Google's original algorithm mimicked citation analysis. It was an examination of the frequency, patterns, and graphs of citations in articles and books. So the way to think about this is that links are like citations and lend credibility to the site they're pointing to. More good links means higher rankings and more traffic. There's this fascinating book. It's called The Search. It's by John Battelle. And it starts off with Larry and Sergey. They're like 22 and 21 years old, and one of them is the like new student buddy of the other. And they were walking around San Francisco like debating the architecture. Apparently they didn't agree on anything when they first met, and they like were at each other's throats. These like really bright guys, and the book goes into the whole founding of Google, but the easy premise, the easy way to think about what they did was they looked at the major university academic research engines, the things that would go through like people's thesis papers and large academic works, and they looked at the way those were ranking things. So they would say, so if you were an academic paper and you had a bunch of citations from other academic papers, and then those academic papers had citations from other ones, there was a weighting system in order to determine what would show up first. All they really did, and it's stupid to simplify Google and say all they did was make the most important, valuable company in the world. But all they really did was take this premise of citation analysis and apply it to the web. They said, look, if links are like a citation, and the text of those links is a component of that citation, where would we rank web pages? And that was the founding premise, was they said links are kind of like an academic citation. So the other concept around this is domain authority. The trust and authority of the domain as well as the relevancy of the content are incredibly important. So links from relative authoritative trusted websites are generally quite valuable. Links from your crappy Tumblr are not. So Google's getting really good at understanding how to value a link, but they also understand it in the context. If you are selling farm products and you get a really good high quality link from an Audi dealership, that doesn't make sense. And so that's what stopped do you remember like back in the day, maybe like 10 years ago, the people would have the link rings. They would say our partners or something like that, and it would be like dentist in Detroit, veterinarian in Tampa, shoe shiner in LA, and it just didn't like make any sense. So Google's getting much better at understanding the contextual relevancy of these links, and it's worth thinking about when you're building links to your site.